Hello everyone, my name is Yusuf Ramirez and welcome back to Fallen But Faithing. As you read by the title, I'm going to be talking about how I came to know God personally through my experience, everything I've gone through. My life changed completely when I came to know God. It's been 5 years. I was 14 when I believed in Jesus and now I'm 19 years old and things have just changed so much for the better. I would definitely say for the better, but it's been hard. Like I said in the last video, this walk is not easy, but it definitely is worth it. Definitely is worth it because I just know I'm not alone anymore, despite those feelings and moments where I feel alone. But Jesus is by my side. He's by our side. I feel like I've never really talked about how I came to know God on camera. I feel like it's always been, oh, I just believed in Jesus in 2020, and that's it. But it's kind of a long story and it kind of unravels itself as time goes on. When I came to know God, it was during quarantine. This was around probably like August, September of 2020. Just some background information. Like around the beginning of quarantine, basically, I was actually starting to pray more, getting closer to God, but I was Catholic during that time. Now, if you guys have not seen my testimony video that I've posted on TikTok and Instagram, I basically grew up Catholic, and honestly, I would always go to church or mass every Sunday with my mom, and I never really felt a connection. It just always felt forced, and I always heard just others tell me about God, but I never really took an initiative to know Him myself. And praying to the Virgin Mary is like, I never felt a connection because we should only be praying to Jesus. Um, and I just never felt that connection personally. And it just something felt off. You know what I mean? As the months went by during quarantine, it was a night in August. I remember. It was evening. I had just got off the phone with my cousins because we were playing games. And my brother at the time, he just was like, he changed a lot during quarantine. I would say we all changed during quarantine because it was hard times. And I just remember him talking about, I just saw this post about like, if you don't believe in God, you're gonna go to hell. And because he saw a post someone posted, he sent them a DM of, oh, what does this mean? And they really went in depth with what that meant. Believing in Jesus, if you don't repent, and all that, you would go to hell and stuff. And obviously, for someone who doesn't know God and like an unbeliever, you're of this world, that's scary. I remember my brother was terrified, and he just told me about it that night. And back then, even before that, I've always heard mention of heaven and hell, but I never really took attention to it in the sense that I was like, oh, I'm a good person. I lie here and there and all that, but overall, I'm a good person. I'm gonna go to heaven. Good person. So I was just looking at my efforts, thinking, oh, I'm good. I'm not gonna go to hell. I'm a good person. But something that night when my brother was telling me how he saw this post and like how we're sinners, and that person that he sent a direct message to telling him in depth what that meant, something in me changed. Something, I felt like a conviction. Something felt like I felt afflicted in my spirit. I showered that night and just went to bed, but after that, like my brother was looking more into it and stuff, and I just remember, I believe, because my memory is kind of foggy from this, but to the best of my knowledge and memory, he just became Christian. He became Christian first before I did. And at the time I was like, oh wow, he really changed. And then he was like scared for me, for my salvation, because he didn't want me to go to hell. He didn't want our loved ones and friends around us to go to hell. And it was definitely very hard because I didn't want to become Christian in the beginning because I'm like, wait, my mom is going to be mad at us. My mom's going to be mad at me. I feel like I should just stay Catholic just so she won't get mad and offended. But that's a big problem. I feel like so many people today, and just in general, not just in Christianity, we always seek to have validation from others and please people when we should be pleasing God and seeking His validation, His approval. Because because we are servants of Christ. As believing Christians, we are servants of the Most High God, and we should not seek anyone's approval. And it is hard at times, but eventually I believe I just was like, you know what, I want change. I'm gonna make this change to believe in Jesus, get to know him myself, and not listen to other people. It was very hard. My mom was kind of not, I guess, happy about it, but she wasn't like mad. But she was just like, as long as you believe in God and stuff. And my dad was like, okay. um, but honestly, I remember my brother and I were like, we changed so completely. We changed so much. I posted a lot about God and stuff, but that's a topic for another day. Um, and it was just, it was a crazy experience. My life changed completely because up until that moment, everything that I thought I was doing right, I was like, wait a minute, something's off. Every lie I told, every little sin I did behind closed doors was eventually in the sight of God. That I had that acknowledgement now. That I was like, oh my gosh, God is seeing me. I'm I'm messing up. I'm failing. I felt something heavy in my spirit whenever I did that now, because it was so easy back then in my head. I'm like, oh, it's better to just say a lie to just get out of a problem. But it's better to be honest. Just an example. And it was just definitely hard at the beginning because so many people around us were just like, oh, you changed completely. Are you good? Are you okay? It was not easy. We lost a lot of friends and stuff like that, or at least I did. But like I said, that's a topic for another day because that is a crazy story. I believe like a couple months after we got baptized, um, we went to church, to some churches. I also remember it was when we had just converted to Christianity. Two of my aunts actually called us, and they were just so happy for us that we had come to know the truth at such a young age. And I feel like I never really acknowledged that or really thought about it. But for example, one of my aunts, she came to know Christ later on in her life, and she was like, "I'm so happy for you that you get to know Him." At such a young age, and you can do so many things to glorify Him at such a young age to hopefully impact and help others, all for the glory of God, because I'm simply an instrument. And the reason I'm telling this story is because my life changed completely after that. All that void inside me was filled. I no longer felt heavy. I no longer felt in bondage, in chains. I felt free. I felt good. And it was just a very good feeling despite all the hardships being thrown our way and the hardships still being thrown our way. But it's all worth it. Like I said, I became Christian at such a young age, so it was just a life changing experience. And I remember one of the first verses I ever learned was John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And that is such a beautiful promise for us believers to hold on to. That not by our works are we saved, it's only by what Jesus did on the cross, because he himself said, it is finished. We don't have to do anything else, but just believe on him. A perfect example that I love to use, because many people I know think we have to do certain stuff to be saved, but there's this verse in the Bible that says, our works are as filthy rags, and it's only through grace. By grace are we saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. And we're not condemned. We're not under condemnation, but under his grace. We're saved. It's just a beautiful feeling, and I wish many people would acknowledge it. You know what I mean? But sadly, so many people, and I want to kind of highlight it because it goes more in depth, but so many people that I knew were like, oh, you got brainwashed. Oh, like you're just too religious, you're a Jesus freak, whatever. But I'm like, my life completely changed. My eyes were open to a truth that I never knew. It was bittersweet because, like I said, I went through so many hardships during those times, but it was so worth it because I came to know God. I came to know the Creator myself, not with someone at church school telling me, not with the a priest telling me, because it always felt off, you know? Like I always had that desire, I guess, to know God, or I had that acknowledgement of knowing Him. I remember one time, because um, in Catholicism, they have like those priests, like confession. I remember going in that booth and just confessing my sins to a man. But now looking back, I'm like, the only person I need to confess my sins to is Jesus, to God. Of course, we can bear each other's burdens as brothers and sisters, but at the end of the day, it's a relationship with God, you know? And I don't owe any explanations to anyone of my mistakes except Him. And of course, it's different if you're falling and you hurt someone. You owe them an apology, a forgiveness. And it's not easy to forgive someone after they've done you dirty so bad. Because trust me, I've been there. I'm going through it. It's crazy how people can cut you off like that after so many memories you shared. It's sad. But it's like they can cut you off and their life goes on normal as if you were irrelevant in their life. So it's like we need to reflect, get up, and move on too. Forgive and forget. For me personally, I hold on to those good memories of people that were in my life before. I don't really hold a grudge. Do I remember those bad times? Yes. But I do not let it become bitterness and resentment towards that person. It was definitely hard times, but I'm happy where I am now. Many people here might not agree with what I'm saying, but disagreements are fine, but disrespect isn't. And that's something big that I really stand on because I understand, like, I have friends, you know, in my life that don't agree with everything that I'm saying or that I believe in, but that would never be a reason for them to disrespect me, and vice versa. I'm not indoctrinating, I'm not forcing a religion on anyone because coming to God is just, you need to have that free will. You need to have that, you need to surrender yourself. Can I tell you about my experiences in the Bible? And who Jesus is and what He can do for you? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's everyone's own decision whether they want to believe on Him or not. But that's all for today. To sum up this episode, I came to know Jesus at 14 years old. I've walked with Him for 5 years now. My life has changed completely. Um, I just feel happy. I compared to before, know or have that acknowledgement more of right from wrong. And I just see things from a biblical perspective, how Jesus would see things. And I'm still struggling here and there, but definitely going to address those things in the future. But if you're someone young, maybe 14, 15, like around the age that I was when I believed in Him, I would say go for it because, you know, He can change your life so much. He really did mine. Will it be a hard road at the beginning? Yes. It definitely is a big, big change, but don't be afraid. He's with you. He's going to be by your side no matter what. And may the Lord guide you, heal you from everything you've been through up until now. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Falling But Faithing. God bless you guys, and I will see you next Sunday for another episode. God bless you guys.